Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to see is true. The show is from the public domain to be able to show you and to protect the innocent.
Welcome to the Easton Community Access Television and the Old Time TV Show.
An eclectic collection of classic comedy, drama, and variety shows. Join us as we travel back in time to the earliest days of broadcast television. And now, on to the show.
Today in Old Time TV series, we are going to showcase Dragnet. Dragnet is an American radio, TV, film series. Follow the exploitations of the dedicated Los Angeles Police Department. Detective Joe Friday and his partners, created by actor-producer Jack Webb, the show took its name from the police term Dragnet, a term for a system-coordinated measure for apprehending criminals and suspects. Dragnet is perhaps the most famous police procedure crime drama in American media history. The series portrayed police work in dangerous, heroic, and helped shape public perception of law enforcement in the 20th century. Jack Webb was not only the creator of Dragnet, but he also starred, produced, and directed several episodes. The 4 episodes we're going to showcase today are The Human Bomb, The Big Phone Call, The Big Light, and The Big Lamp. All the episodes we showcase today will show how Dragnet portrayed the police department and how it paved the way in other police shows.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
This is the city. 450 square miles of it. 150,000 acres. A big place. 6,000 miles of streets. 2 million people. In my job, you get a chance to meet them all. I'm a cop. This is the City Hall. The base is 476 feet on its longitudinal axis. The tower goes up 452 feet above the level of Main Street. They put it up to stay. Limestone from France, marble from Tennessee, gray California granite. It was Tuesday, November 15th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We'd been working the early watch out of Central Division, Detective Bureau. I got an emergency call to check back in at the office. An entire block in the heart of the city was facing sudden, total destruction. We had 26 minutes to try and stop it. This is the story of those 26 minutes. We'd been working the early watch out of Central Homicide. That's the all-night duty, 11 to 7. My partner's Ben Romero. He's a sergeant, so am I. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday.
You're Sergeant Friday? Yeah, that's right. You have to take this car. It's the only one in service.
Joe?
Ben?
You made good time.
I came as soon as I got the call.
Come on down here.
What is it, Skipper? Why all the hush?
Come on. Number one, let's keep our voices down. I'll make it short. Every minute counts. What time you got, Friday?
8:34.
All right, here it is. 55 minutes ago, a man walked into this building with a homemade bomb under his arm. He says if we don't release his brother from the county jail by 9 o'clock this morning, you're going to set off the bomb and blow up the building.
He's kidding.
Is he?
Well, who is the guy?
Name's Vernon Carney. Here's his make.
Our cards. Yeah. Both of them are small-time thieves, been in and out of jail the last 5 years.
My brother's name is Elwood.
That's right. He's serving a year for car stripping.
And that two-bit thief is sitting in the city hall with a bomb in his lap?
He's right in the next room.
Well, what kind of a bomb is it? You think he's bluffing?
Could be. Crime Lab's not sure.
Lee Jones from the lab get a look at it?
Not a good look. You can't get near the guy.
All right. What do you want us to do?
Well, it's a volunteer job. You can take it or leave it.
How do you want us to handle it?
You sure you want a piece of this one, Romero?
No, he doesn't. He's got a family. Get me another single man. We'll give it a try. Check out, Ben.
Can't go home. Wife wants me to paint the bathroom today. What do we do?
All right. Chandler's tried. Hannon, Olson, Wiseman, they all tried. This guy Carney's no pushover. He knows what he's doing. Be careful.
Right, Skip.
Now, we're still checking to make sure everybody's out of the building. I'll be back on this floor in a minute.
Is there anything else we ought to know? Any plan we ought to follow?
Well, he's in there and he's got a bomb. Take it away from him.
We had two big questions and we needed the answers fast. Was Vernon Carney holding a real bomb or was it only a harmless gadget? Was Carney ready to make good his promise to blow up the building by 9 o'clock? If it was true, we had 24 minutes to talk him out of it. I looked at my watch. It was 8:36. What do you say to a man with a bomb?
That's close enough.
Smoke, Carney?
No.
What are you trying to prove?
You know what I want.
We're not going to let your brother out of jail.
You got till 9 o'clock to change your minds. You got 22 minutes.
We go, you're going with us, Carney.
Don't take much of a brain to figure that.
What makes you think you can get away with it?
I want my brother out of jail.
He's only got a couple of months to go. He'll get out when he serves his time.
Yeah, that's where you're wrong, cop. He gets out at 9 o'clock this morning.
All right. Come on, Carney. Get your hand out of that box. Put the box on the table.
You think I'm bluffing, don't you? I'm gonna let you get within 5 feet before I make a liar out of you.
Okay, Carney, I guess you mean it.
You can take 2 more steps and find out for sure.
Suppose we did let him out. We'd just pick him up again, you along with him.
If you could find us.
Now, let's get this straight. If we let your brother out, how do we know you'll keep your promise?
What promise? I haven't made any promise. You get Elwood over here first, then we'll talk about it.
And if we don't let him out, you say you'll pull the trigger on that bomb. What are you going to prove by that?
It's 8:39. You got 21 minutes to go.
Now, come on, give me an answer. Why do you want to kill a lot of innocent people?
Don't try to con me. They cleared everybody out of this building 45 minutes ago. They cleaned out the whole block. Don't you think it's about time you sent somebody over to get Elwood?
Wants to stop us from leaving. Just let you sit there and touch off that thing.
Don't try to kid me. You'd let me sit here and blow up $10 million worth of taxpayers' money? No. You're going to let Elwood out. You'll wait till the last minute to do it, but you'll let him out.
How'd it go?
Nothing. Look, I'm still not convinced Carney can back up what he says.
Then why didn't you take that box away from him?
Yeah.
We've located Carney's apartment. There's a detail out there checking it now. Pacelli and Morris.
You got any ideas at all? Anything we could try?
That's why I called you in. None of us have gotten any further along than you did just now.
Well, how about us stopping Carney first?
Yeah?
I'm not top man on the pistol range, but I could wing him.
And he falls and his reflex action pulls the trigger on the bomb? No, gun's not the answer.
There's just one thing I want to know for sure.
Yeah, Friday. Will it go off or won't it? We all want to know.
Either way, we got to get that box away from us.
Brown Piggy. Yeah. You did? Yeah. No, stay there. I'll call you. That was Pacelli.
What'd he say?
They found 28 sticks of dynamite in Carney's apartment.
We knew now Carney wasn't kidding. We could see into the bomb through the glass window in one end. There was dynamite inside. There was dynamite in Carney's room. We didn't know if he had the nerve to pull the trigger. We couldn't be sure if it'd go off when he did. But with only minutes remaining, nobody wanted to take the chance. From here on in, all of us agreed that Vernon Carney sat in the next room, holding in his two hands a force powerful enough to destroy us all. I looked at my watch. It was 16 and a half minutes to 9.
How do we get it away from him?
Well, I got an idea. It might work.
Let's have it.
Well, Carney's sitting in the next office between two windows. Both of them are open. If we could get a man in through one of those windows, we might get Carney from behind.
How are you going to get him?
Well, whoever gets to the window could slug him.
What do you do then?
Well, somebody grabs the box. Crime Lab can tell us what to do with it.
How do you get a man through the window? We're on the 11th floor.
Well, there's some kind of a ledge runs around each story, isn't there?
Wide enough for a man to walk on?
I don't know. Let's have a look.
That's pretty narrow, Joe.
It's a good 18 inches. Could be done.
No, Joe. Too risky.
Strong wind out there, too, Joe. It'd tear a man right off the building.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
There still might be a way. How about a ladder?
11th floor, Skipper?
There might be a way. The fire department will know that. I'll get Battalion Chief Erickson.
Is Lee Jones still in the building?
No, he's over at the crime lab. I'll get him up here, too. I don't know, Friday. Maybe it'll work.
It's got to.
All right, now look. It's going to take a couple of minutes to set this up. We've got to know what Carney's doing every second.
Well, how about the dictograph in there? Adjoining offices should be connected with this one.
Good. See if you can get it on without him seeing you. Get the receiver off the hook and leave it off.
Right.
You know, if it isn't off the hook, we won't be able to hear a thing in here.
Right. Come on, then.
This Dad Brown Police Department. Give me Erickson, Battalion Chief.
Where's my brother?
Still in his cell.
Get with it, cop. You're long on talk and short on time. Get Elwood over here.
Your brother doesn't want any part of this. We get him on the phone and I'll tell you the same thing.
I promised El. I told him I'd get him out. He didn't think I could do it, but I'm doing it.
I'll make you a bet, Carney. We'll get your brother on the phone. He won't walk out of here with you.
All right. Get him on the phone.
Where you going? Phone's over there.
Have to use the dictograph. Have to have an okay from the chief. Elwood's still a prisoner.
Phone. No operators. The building's been cleared. You know it.
Yeah, I almost forgot. Oh, kid, you can use the dictograph.
This Friday, Chief. Carney wants to talk to his brother. Yeah, I know you'll have to send somebody over. What? Just a minute. 5801. Yeah. Right. Take a couple of minutes to set it up.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to El. It's been a couple of months since I've seen him. We've always been together, me and El, most of the time.
Let's go and see if we can't hurry that call, huh, Joe?
It's a good idea, boy. It's 16 minutes to 9. Hey, cop.
Yeah?
Forgot to hang up the dictograph, didn't you?
I put the receiver back on the dictograph. Ben and I had failed to make good on the first step of the plan. We went back into the office next door. Chief Sam Erickson of the fire department and Lieutenant Lee Jones from the crime lab were already there.
We can't run a ladder up from the street.
Too high, Chief?
Best we've got's a 100-foot aerial. You figure 12 foot to this story, that'll take you up 96 feet, 8 floors, and we've got the latest equipment. What's that idea you had, Lee?
Sam, can you get hold of a pump here in a hurry?
Sure, we got a lot of scaling ladders, but you got nothing up there to hook them on.
You figure on dropping down from the floor above, is that right?
That's right. I figure a pump here would do it.
Sure, we could make it fast with the windowsill up there, but you got a 1.5 foot ledge in the way. Now, what you want is a lifeline.
Lower a man down on a rope, is that it?
Lifeline, yeah. It's quick and it's quiet. Can you rig it so one of my men can do it? Sure. What's the risk? None if you work it right. We'll strap on a life belt. 2 of my men will drop him down. What do you think, Lee?
That's it.
What do we do with that bomb when we get it, Lee?
I figure that box Connie is holding is about a foot square. Now, here's what I'll do. I'll get you a bucket with a 1.5 foot mouth. It'll be full of water. I'll have it right outside the door to that office. When you get that box, place it in the water, and we'll get the bucket out of the building as fast as we can.
Once we get the thing underwater, we're in the clear, huh?
I can't promise you that, but it's the safest way to handle it under the circumstances.
All right, that's it. Sam, you want to take care of your end? Yeah, right away. Lee?
I got a detail to give me a hand down the street. When we get the bomb, we'll take it to a safe area and decommission it.
All right, work as fast as you can.
No choice.
Friday.
Yep.
Can you handle that bomb?
I can try.
I'll take the rope.
All right, that's the routine. And carry this with you, Romero. When you come down on that rope, you got one chance to make good. Slug him and make it count. There's no second try.
Right.
And Joe, when you grab that box, you got to get it away from Carney before you can squeeze the trigger, and then get it right down to the street.
The elevator.
Can you operate it?
It's pretty simple. I can double check it.
Do it now.
Right. You better get Connie's brother for him on the phone. He seemed anxious.
I'll call him. Get going.
Right.
This is Dad Brown, emergency. Let me talk to Fitzgerald.
I checked with the elevator operator, and then he was sent out of the building. 13 minutes to 9. The 2 volunteers from the fire department were standing by on the floor above. Lee Jones and Erickson were on their way up in the freight elevator with the necessary equipment. The phone call from the city jail was ready to be put through. Ben and I went in to tell Carney.
You got Elwood with you?
We told you we'd get him on the phone for you. Call will be through in a minute.
A minute's a long time, cop. You only got 12 of them left.
Elwood's going to talk you out of this.
Oh, sure. Everybody's going to talk me out of this. First was them other 2 cops, that little Porky guy and that other monkey. Then it's you and this Dixie doughhead here. Now it's Elwood. Oh, come off it. Will you get my brother over here?
It's your brother, Carney. I'll get it for you.
Stay put, you.
Just going to get the phone for you.
I'll take care of the phone. We're just disconnected. Now, you get this straight, you dumb cops. I'm through with your rotten, stinking lying. Do you think I know what you've been doing next door? Now, you listen to me. I want Elwood here, and I want him now. Now, you get him here before I blow you all to pieces.
Who threw that phone out in the hall?
I did. You want me to go out and pick it up?
Carney, that's not going to get you anywhere.
You the big boss around here?
Maybe.
Are you, aren't you?
I answered you.
All right, big boy, I've got a piece of advice for you. You take your rookie cops here and you get it through their heads. I mean what I say. I want my brother over here in this room, and you've got just 9 minutes to get it done. Now you tell him that, will you?
All right, Carney. It's your show. All right, we got to work fast now. Jones, everything set with you?
All set. The car's waiting down in the street.
Erickson, your men ready? Upstairs, waiting. And we all know what to do.
I'll need somebody to give me a hand with Carney when he falls.
I'll be in there with you Friday. One thing you ought to know. What's that? Strong wind outside, about 20 miles an hour right now.
That gonna louse us up?
No, but it's going to increase the sway. You got to allow for it.
How do you mean?
Wind's coming from the south. We'll lower you just to the right of the window. If I figure it right, the wind will do the rest.
Bigger risk?
We don't control the weather. Better get upstairs. Lee, no use you sticking around.
I'll give Friday a hand.
No, it's my job. Got to keep you alive and decommission the bomb.
Bum joke. See you downstairs.
What's the time?
We got 8 minutes left.
Scared, Friday?
Yeah.
That makes us even. Come on.
Thad Brown and I went back into the room with Vernon Carney. Ben was going to make a try from the window on Carney's right. Somehow we had to try and keep his attention on us and away from that window. If anything went wrong and Carney got out of position, the plan would fail. If Chief Erickson didn't estimate the force of the wind correctly, the plan would fail. I looked at my watch. It was 8 minutes to 9.
Anything we can say to make you change your mind, Carney?
I've asked you 100 times, now I'm ordering you. You're gonna get to a phone and have somebody send Elwood over here right now. I'm through waiting, now move.
You ripped out the phone, Carney.
Well, then find another one. I told you I'm sick of your 2-bit stalling.
We have until 9 o'clock to make up our mind about this.
You had until 9, but you didn't do what I told you. Now I'm cutting you short. You got just 1 minute to get a phone in this room, or I can hear you call the jail and have them send Elwood over here.
They said 9, Carney.
All right, Joe. We'll give him what he wants. Bring in the phone from the next room. Your brother's a prisoner. He's in custody. We can't place his life in jeopardy.
You leave that up to L.
We'll have to take it over here. Court won't reach.
We want Elwood Carney over here at the City Hall, room 1104. His brother wants to see him. If he wants to come, get him over here. Leave it up to him. Yeah, you can use the freight elevator.
And tell him to hurry.
Yeah. Tell him to hurry.
That's the only smart thing you've done all day. Now why don't you go next door and try to figure out another angle?
We'll wait for your brother, too.
That's right. We're all going to sit here and wait for Elwood. If he don't show, you're going to see me pull the plug. Now sit down. Right where you are. Sit. Clock, ain't it? It's getting cold in here. It's sure a loud clock. Maybe I ought to shut the windows. I don't want to catch me a cold.
I can turn up the heat.
Stay put, you. What's that? What's going on?
Nothing, Connie, just the wind.
Shut up, you. There's someone out there. I can see your feet. Stupid cops. Pull him up. Get him out of there. Pull him up. Pull him
All right, Connie, you win.
You bet I win. You didn't think I'd miss a trick like that, did you? Now, that one's locked. Now we'll get the other one.
Is your brother, Carney?
Yeah. Hi, Al.
You're crazy, Vern. You're crazy. There's a million cops outside. People all over town heard about this. They're holding back the crowd.
You'll never make it, either one of you.
I got him this far, didn't I? We'll make it.
Vern, you think we could do it?
You. Get a car for us ready down in front of the building, a fast one. Move!
Do what he tells you, Joe.
You're not fooling, are you, Vern? Will that thing really blow?
4 miles high.
I'll never let you pull it. We're getting out.
What happened? You spot me?
Yeah, it's got to go fast now. We had to bring Carney's brother over from the jail.
Are we still on time limit?
We got 4 minutes left.
How about the
Do
ledge?
you think you can do it?
Try.
Here's your gun.
Oh, yeah.
And the sap.
Yeah, got it.
How you going to do it?
I'll try to catch him just above the right arm at the base of the neck. That should paralyze his right arm and give you a chance to get that box away from him.
We use the same plan?
Right. Oh, Ben, wait a minute.
Yeah?
The window on his right, he locked it. You'll have to crawl around and get in through the one on his left. You got it?
Yeah, I got you. All right. They didn't let you out.
I'll be ready in 2 minutes out front.
Fine. Al and me will just wait.
Vern, I'd feel better with a gun.
You don't need a gun. We got the bomb.
We'll need a gun when we get out of here, when we get on the road.
All right, Al. Take the big guy's gun. He's got one. It's about time for that car, ain't it?
didn't go off, Friday.
Yeah. Well, I gave it a good chance, Lee.
It was all there. This is why it didn't go off. It was rigged for a hard trigger pull. It's taking a good yank to set this one off. You all right, Joe?
Yeah, sure, I'm all right. Clumsy.
On February 15th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial. The suspect was examined by 5 different psychiatrists appointed by the Superior Court and found to be mentally incompetent. Elwood Carney served the balance of his sentence with no time off for good behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
This is the city, part of it. This is Beverly Hills, California. Then there's Griffith Park. We have a good-sized zoo up there. A lot of animals. For a bag of peanuts, the grizzly bear will wave at you. The polar bear will do the same. Some of the animals are pretty much alike. It's the people that differ. That's why I'm in business. I'm a cop. It was Friday, August 5th. We were working the day watch out of Homicide Division. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Warman. My name's Friday. We'd gotten a call that there'd been an accident at one of the motion picture studios. A man had died. We had to make the usual accident follow-up.
Better look for a guard, huh? Yeah, I guess we have.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
Yes, sir, we're police officers. We're looking for Gerald Adams.
Oh, yes. He said I was to look out for you. You'll find him down there in the gravestone set.
Thank you very much.
Come on, I'll get ready. All right, come on, stick up, honey. That's it. Hey, Faye, try a double quad in that thing, huh? Yeah, right in there. I want to get the pin. All right, let's move around just a little bit. Okay, huh? All right, put us on a foul, huh? We have a little more back.
All right, now everybody settle down. Come on, we can't hear the word.
Let's have a little more back.
Hey, Earl.
Save the house, Mike.
Like the statue over there.
Okay, Dick?
Yeah, thanks. All right. Give me another single up there, Pop.
Say when, will you?
Okay, yeah, that's it. Good enough?
Yeah, okay. Let me have a little bit more to the left, will you?
All right, open up those doors. Over the left. Some wax. We shot it down to 557. All right, now the other one.
A little more, yeah. Still need to cut out.
Oh, say it. Here, sure. Point over again. That's good.
All right, fine. Let's see, give me a check back on that. Yeah, that's supposed to be.
All right, now come on, quiet down, everybody. What do you think that bell is for?
Hey, could you tell us where we could find a Gerald Adams?
That's me.
Police officers, Mr. Adams. This is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Hi, how are you?
Doctor over at Georgia Street told us that a William Bradley had an accident here. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. William Bradley. Bill was our director. Suppose you'd like to see where it happened.
Yes, sir, we would.
The uniformed officers over here told me to rope off the area. It's right over there on the hotel set. You're in the house lights. Right this way.
Excuse me. Sure.
We're 12 days behind schedule now. This will probably throw us a couple of more days behind. Front office is going to be real unhappy when they find out how much this picture's costing. We're right over there. Go ahead.
Thank you. I wonder if you'd fill us in on what happened here.
Sure. What can I do to help?
Well, if you tell us how the body was found, who found it, how the accident occurred.
Well, near as I can figure, it must have happened about 12:10 or 12:15. Crew had broken for lunch. Most of them were over at the commissary. I came down from the office. I wanted to talk to Bill about tomorrow's schedule. Wanted to try and change some of the shots, make them more simple. Didn't see him around, so I went ahead and had lunch. About, let's see, I think it was about 12:40, Fred Jackson, one of the rigging crew, came in and told me he'd found Bill's body, that a lamp had fallen on him. Darn fool yelled so loud, everybody in the place heard him.
I see.
Well, I came right over. First, it looked like Bradley was dead. He'd lost a lot of blood. I felt his pulse and found out he was still alive. That's when I had the ambulance called. Right here's where he was found. You can see the lamp. Must have hit him right about here. Poor guy.
Yes, sir. Is that where the lamp fell from up there?
Yeah, you can see there on the lamp bed where it was. Between those juniors there. See the open space?
I see. Who puts the lamps up there?
Well, the rigging crew hangs them. Gaffer's in charge of them.
Wonder if we could talk to him.
Yeah, sure. Patterson. Dick Patterson.
Yes, sir. I'll be right there.
Gee, that's a big lamp.
Yeah, the thing must weigh 150 pounds.
Yeah, at least that.
What's your position with the company, Adams?
I'm production supervisor. Unit manager. There are a lot of names for it. I try to take care of the running of the company as far as this one picture's concerned. I make out the budgets, work out the schedule with the director, things like that.
I understand.
It's really hard to say just what my job is. Sort of do a little of everything.
Yes.
Uniformed officer said there'd be some men out from homicide. That's where you're from?
Yeah, that's right.
You think there's something wrong here, that maybe it wasn't an accident?
No, not necessarily. It's just that in any death where there isn't a doctor in attendance at the time of death, we have to look into it. It's just routine.
How they coming over there?
Well, about another 10 minutes. It's the last shot here, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you want to see me for?
These officers like to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
This is Mr. Friday, Mr. Smith, Dick Patterson, our gaffer.
How are you?
What would you want to know?
Adams here tells us that you were in charge of hanging those lamps up there. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Why? You trying to say that I had something to do with causing Bradley's death?
No, sir, we didn't say that.
And what are you saying?
We're just trying to get the facts here.
There's no need to get upset, Dick.
Well, I don't like it. These cops coming in try to make out those lamps weren't put in right.
No, that's not what they said.
Well, don't you think I feel bad enough? Bill was a good friend of mine. We've been together a long time. I don't know how that lamp got loose.
Well, that's just what we're trying to find out here, Patterson.
I've been wanting to get up there myself and look at it. Jerry here said not to touch anything until you guys got here.
All right, how do we get up there?
A ladder over here. I can't understand it. I've been hanging lamps for a long time. Going on 10 years. First time anything like this ever happened. Now, go ahead.
Okay.
Watch your step.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Patterson.
Here we are. Well, this is how we hang it. You can see where the arc was, right there in that hole.
I appreciate it if you don't touch anything, Patterson.
Oh, sure.
You just drop the lamps into those holes like that, huh?
Yeah, we drill a hole through the bed, 1 3/16.
Well, I noticed the holes aren't straight up and down. They kind of go off at an angle there. Why is that?
They're drilled at a 5-degree angle so the head won't swing when somebody walks around up here.
Oh, I see.
There's a pin on the bottom of the bale, 1 1/8 in diameter. That goes through the hole there.
Uh-huh. Well, then there's a pin that goes through the mounting like a cotter key, huh?
No, it's not necessary.
Well, I noticed down there on the broken light, there was a little hole in the pin that comes out of the mounting. Thought that's what it was for.
Well, that's for hanging the lamp upside down. There's a fitting goes on that. Another pin goes through there.
Well, now I notice a piece of chain on some of the lamps there.
Yeah?
Does that hold the lamp in any way?
No, that's for the tail.
Tail?
Yeah, that's the lead from the lamp to the plug-in box. Wires that electricity comes in on.
Oh, I see, uh-huh.
Well, this tail, how much of it's on each lamp?
Oh, maybe 30 feet.
Well, now, if a lamp fell, would the wire be short enough to keep it from hitting the floor down there?
No, they could all reach the floor.
You ever known a lamp to fall before, Mr. Patterson?
Once in a while. Pin might crystallize and break off. Maybe the bed had split out. But you can see for yourself, though. That isn't what happened.
Well, now, the lamp that fell down there, was it the biggest one that was up here on this bed? Isn't that it?
Arc light. B90s, we call them. Juniors. Over there, the seniors. Mostly fill lights for the arc.
Well, from what you can see here, Mr. Patterson, can you figure how that lamp could have fallen, how it could have broken loose some way up here?
Well, I'll tell you, Officer Bob, that's my best boy. Bob and I were back here this morning. I wanted to check the position of the lights. I didn't get up here myself, but Bob did. After the rigging crew hung the lamps, Bob ran a test on every one of them.
Well, now, a test, you say. Exactly what does that mean? What does he do when he tests them?
He hits each lamp. We turn them on, see if the bulbs are all right, fuses are okay, that there are no shorts in the switches.
Oh, I see.
Well, like I said, Bob got up here and looked at them all. He's a good boy, been around for a long time. He doesn't make mistakes like this. If he thought that lamp was hung right, then it was. I know it was right.
Well, then you have no idea at all of how it could have fallen, huh?
None at all. Matter of fact, I don't think it did.
All right, give me a bell, huh? All right, now quiet down, everybody. No walking around, huh?
What was that you were saying about the lamp?
Quiet, they're gonna make a shot.
All right, now everybody settle down. This is picture. All right, roll them.
Now, hold it, roll.
What's the matter?
All right.
Come on, hurry up, will you?
All right. Okay, Sam, that's it.
All right, roll them. Hey!
Scene 27, take 14.
All right, honey. Now, a nice loud voice. Play it right to me, huh?
All right, Eddie. If that's the way you feel, I never want to see you again.
Cut! Print the last one only. All right, wrong set, everybody. Wilson House on the back lot. Come on.
Now, what was that you were saying about the lamp?
I don't think it did fall. I think it was dropped.
We called the crime lab. They came out and photographed the stage. 3:15 p.m., Frank and I talked to the best boy and got the same story from him. He said that he had checked the lamp himself and that as far as he was concerned, it could not have fallen. He agreed with Dick Patterson that the lamp must have been removed from its place and either dropped or thrown at William Bradley. We asked the unit manager to assign one of the studio police to guard the scene of the accident. Dean Bergman from Leighton Prints lifted 3 clean prints from the broken lens of the lamp. The best boy's fingerprints were taken, and they matched the ones found on the lamp. There were no other prints on the glass. The men from the crime lab found a small piece of cloth on the mounting of the lamp. Sergeant J. Allen put it in an envelope and gave it to me. 4:20 p.m.
You know, I just can't believe it. There are a lot of people in town who didn't like Bradley, but I didn't think there was anyone who'd kill him.
Was there anyone in the company that you had any disagreements with?
What do you mean?
Well, any quarrels, disagreements, anything like that?
Well, it'd be most likely Sam. They argued all the time.
Sam?
Yeah, Sam Phillips. He's the first assistant director. Real talented guy. Been at it a long time. He and Bradley worked together for a long time. They were always arguing. I guess if you didn't know them, you might think they were serious, but here in the company, we all knew and understood.
Understood what?
Well, Sam's been in Hollywood almost since it was. Started as a prop man. Then I guess it was about 15 years ago, he got his cards as assistant.
Yeah.
He's going to get a picture of his own pretty soon. He'll do well, too. He's real talent.
Well, how about these arguments between Bradley and Phillips?
Well, Sam's a great practical joker, always trying to cook up something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most of the time, the jokes do the job. They give everybody a laugh, and they all feel a little better. Well, the day before yesterday, Sam got the set decorator and took a cement deer. You know, the kind people used to have on their front lawns?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, the 2 of them carted this deer out on the parking lot and put it in the back seat of Bradley's car. They planted it so the deer was looking right at Bill when he'd get in the driver's seat. The thing weighs about 200 pounds. Once they got it in, Bill couldn't get it out. He tried that night, but he just couldn't make it.
Well, you said that Sam lifted this deer into the car by himself?
I don't know if he did it by himself, but I know he could lift it without help.
How much did you say that deer weighed?
About 200 pounds. Why?
Well, I was just thinking. That lamp weighs less than that. 4:45 p.m. Frank called the office and had R&I run the names Sam Phillips and William Bradley. Sam Phillips had been arrested once for disturbing the peace. He'd gotten drunk in a nightclub out on Sunset Boulevard and gotten into a fight. The report said that it had taken both the arresting officers to subdue him and take him into custody. There was no record on William Bradley. We continued to talk to the crew. From each one of them, we heard of the arguments between Phillips and Bradley. But most of the people we talked to did not share Adams' idea that the arguments were jokes. The script girl told us that on at least 3 occasions it had taken members of the crew to keep the men apart. That Sam Phillips had said that he'd killed Bradley. We asked each of them if they'd seen anyone enter or leave the stage at approximately the time of the accident. None of them had. They explained that Bradley was trying to pick up time and that as soon as they'd finished one shot, he was yelling at them to get ready for the next one. 5:22 p.m. We talked to the assistant director, Sam Phillips.
Want a cup of coffee?
No, thanks.
No. Yeah, well, if you want any, help yourselves. We used this kitchen in a picture, had it made practical for coffee and stuff like that.
There's a couple more things we'd like to check with you.
Yeah, could you make it fast? I just came in for some call sheets. I got to get out on the back lot.
Well, this won't take very long. Understand that you had arguments with William Bradley, is that right?
Sure, we had some beefs. None of them were serious, though.
Well, that's not the way we hear it, Phillips.
You hear wrong.
Did you lift that deer into Bradley's car by yourself?
Yeah, I had the set decorator with me. Kind of steered the thing in. Sure looked funny.
You sure you weren't back on the hotel set today, huh?
Positive.
You any idea how that lamp got loose and fell?
No, not the slightest.
You're the first assistant director, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
How long you held that job?
Oh, about 15 years, I guess. I was a prop man for a while. I'd like to direct someday.
Mm-hmm. Did Bradley know that you wanted to be a director?
Yeah, he said that if I stayed with him, he'd try to get the producers to give me a picture. Matter of fact, I kind of thought I might get this one.
Is that right?
Yeah, when the company bought the book, they didn't assign a man to it right away, and Jerry and I both wanted it.
Jerry? You mean Adams?
Yeah, he wants to be a director, too. He was pretty hacked when the company gave this picture to Bradley. Jerry thought sure he had it made. It's funny, I guess everyone wants to be a director. Jerry's been trying for a long time. I don't think he'll ever make it, though.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's too valuable as a unit manager.
Yeah. Was Adams very upset when he didn't get to direct this picture?
No, I was pretty sore. I told Jerry about it. He just sat back and said that's the way things are and doesn't pay to argue with the front office.
Uh-huh. Did you say anything to Bradley about how you felt?
Yeah, I told him. I said I thought it was real unfair. Said I thought he could have done something about it.
What'd he say?
Well, he told me to be patient and my time had come. Said he didn't want me to tackle a picture like this. Said the thing was a dog and that even he'd have to work to make it good.
Well, now, if he thought that the picture was so bad, why do you want to have anything to do with it?
Well, that's the way Bill was. He'd take the thing just to show he could make it good. He had one of the most terrific egos I've ever seen. Didn't believe he could make a mistake or a bad picture.
Well, now, you said that you weren't going to use that hotel set until next week. Is that right?
Yeah, it was the finish of the picture. Placed in the script where the wife comes home and finds her husband with another woman. The wife shoots him, and the tag is played in the lobby there.
Well, what was the man from the rigging crew doing back there, would you know?
We needed a grid for an arc on the other set, the one we're on now. He went back there to strike the grid for the arc, and that's when he found Bill.
Well, is it possible that Bradley was back there checking the lights?
No, not Bill. He left that to Patterson. Bradley thought he shouldn't bother with the technical end of things. He spent his time with the people, worked on their characters, as he called it. Used to talk about molding the printed word into something more than real. Real corny.
Yeah. Do you know if there was anybody on the lot who might have wanted to kill Bradley?
No. Oh, there might have been some people who didn't like him very much, but you run into that on almost every picture. You know, little jealousies.
That right?
Yeah. You stop to figure how much money is spent on a picture like this, all the different temperaments involved. Why, for 3 months now, we all been together every day from 8:30 in the morning till 6 at night. Bound to be a few frayed nerves, few people that are sore at somebody else on the set. But even so, I don't think there was anybody who was mad at Bill enough to do this. You really think he was killed, huh?
Looks that way.
Oh, something you wanted, Dick? Well, I wanted to talk to the officers.
Well, what is it, Patterson?
It's kind of private.
Well, if you're through with me, I'll get back to work.
Well, I'd rather you'd wait if you would.
Well, all right, I'll be right over here.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Well, I feel like a real idiot. I should have remembered this when you talked to me before.
What's that?
Well, I remembered that just before the company broke for lunch, Sam gave me a note. Said I should give it to Bradley.
Yeah. Did you see what it was?
No. It was folded up, had Bradley's name on it. I didn't pay much attention to it.
Did you give it to Bradley?
Yeah. He read it, and then he said he had to leave the set for a few minutes. Said he'd be right back.
He left the set then, did he?
Yeah.
Where was Sam at this time?
I don't know. You see, he gave me the note just inside the door to the stage. I was bringing in some more lights, and right after he gave me the note, he left.
Yeah.
Headed for the hotel set.
We talked to Gerald Adams and had 2 of the laborers on the stage start a search for the note. Frank called Georgia Street Receiving Hospital and asked if the note had been found on the body of William Bradley. The doctor told us that he hadn't noticed, but that the dead man's personal effects had been turned over to the coroner. We called the coroner, and he told us that nothing of that description had been found. While the laborers searched for the missing note, we continued to talk to Sam Phillips.
Oh, the whole idea is crazy. I told you I wasn't near that set at all this morning.
How about that note?
I don't remember any note.
Well, the gaffer says you gave it to him, told him to give it to Bradley.
He's crazy. If I had a note for Bradley, I'd have given it to him myself. I'm with him all day. I got no reason to have someone else deliver messages for me.
Then you deny giving him the note, is that right?
Certainly.
All right, mister, we'll let you know just how you stand. We've got a witness who says you were seen going back to that hotel set. A couple of minutes later, a man is killed on the same set. You admit you've had arguments with Bradley. Seems like you might have had a motive for killing him.
I told you, I didn't go near the... Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I know what he's talking about.
What's that?
When Dick said he saw me heading for the back of the stage, he was probably right. You see, I keep this little desk back there sometimes. I keep the strip board on it, check the shots as we go. There wasn't any place near the set where Bill was killed, though.
Yeah?
Well, I know what you guys think. I don't know how to show you that you're wrong.
Can you come up with an explanation for that note?
Well, I'm trying to tell you that I don't... Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
What?
I did give Dick a note. Told him to give it to Bradley.
What was in it?
I don't know. I didn't read it.
Well, then you didn't write it.
No, found it on my desk this morning. I figured that someone had put it there thinking I'd see Bill and give it to him.
What time did you find it?
Let's see. I guess it was about 9 or so. I guess I put it in my pocket and then forgot about it. Then just before we were breaking for lunch, I remembered it, gave it to Dick, told him to hand it to Bill. That's what the note was all about. Right after that, I went over to the commissary.
You got any idea who might have left the note?
No, sir, none at all. Found it here, right here. Saw who it was addressed to and put it in my pocket and didn't think much about it. When I got back to set, I forgot all about it. I remembered it just before we were ready to break for lunch, just like I said.
Did you see Bradley at all after you left the stage?
No, I looked for him at the commissary, but he didn't show up. Then Fred Jackson came in and told us about the accident.
Mm-hmm. Did you recognize the handwriting on the note?
No, all I saw was the name, that it was for Bradley. Come to think of it, though, I do kind of remember it was familiar writing, thinking I'd seen it someplace before.
Do you remember where?
No, I wish I could. You found it yet?
No, not yet. I'd like you to take a look at this, Phillips.
What's that?
Our crime lab crew found this caught on a piece of the lamp that killed Bradley.
Looks like a piece of gray flannel, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, from inside the cup, see? You can see the little zigzag marks where it's been cut.
You ever see this material before, Sam?
Yeah, I've seen something like this. Saw it this morning. Gray flannel slacks.
Yeah?
Sure, Jerry Adams was wearing them.
6:30 p.m. We went out to the back lot and picked up Gerald Adams and took him back to stage 2.
Is all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Were you back here on the stage at all before the body was found?
No, sir. Why, do you think I had something to do with this?
No, we didn't say that. We're still trying to get the facts here.
Well, I want to help all I can, but it seems to me you'd do better if you talked to Sam. The note and all. Is he still deny giving it to Bradley?
No, he says he gave it to him.
Well, there you are. I guess that argument was a lot more serious than we thought.
I'd like to take a look at the cuffs of your trousers, if we could, Adams.
Why?
I'd like to take a look at them.
I don't understand.
Good. Put your foot up there, will you?
Sure. Let's see the other one. Don't know what you guys are looking for, but if you tell me what you want, maybe I can help you find it.
Got a tear inside your cuff. Had you noticed it?
No. Here, let me see. Yeah, how about that? I'll have to get that fixed. Little piece torn right out. Brand new slacks, too. First day I worn them.
What'd you do when you found Bradley's body?
Well, when I heard about the accident, I ran back from the commissary, right back to the hotel set.
Was there anybody on the stage then?
No, not right away. Fred was right behind me. He's the one who found Bradley. Then Jack, the guard.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the body was lying right by the lamp. You saw that when you were there.
Yeah, we did. Did you go near the lamp, touch it in any way?
No, I didn't. My only concern was Bradley. That's all I thought about. I knelt down to feel his pulse, and then I told Jack to go phone the ambulance.
Yeah.
Then I had the set roped off. I waited till the studio policeman got there, and then I went up front where the rest of the company was.
Our crime lab found a piece of cloth caught on that lamp. Matches the tear in the cuff of your pants there. Gray flannels.
I can't understand how it could have gotten there.
What if we could take a look through your pockets?
Why? What's that going to prove?
All right, empty the stuff out of your pockets. Just like to take a look. It won't hurt anything, will it?
I don't see why you're asking me all these questions. Seems to me that Sam's your killer. Why don't you talk to him? Make him tell you why he did it.
All right, come on. Let's see what you got in your pockets. Take everything out.
All right, here's my wallet.
Open it up. What's that you got in your hand?
It's nothing. Nothing at all.
Let me see it.
It's nothing.
Bradley, I have to see you. Something's come up. Meet me at the hotel set when you break for lunch. It's private. Jerry. What's this mean, Adam?
I don't know anything about it.
Well, isn't this the note we've been looking all over the stage for?
right, give it up, Adams. There's no place to go up there.
Stay away from me.
Come on, Adams, give it up.
Stay away from me. I'm not going with you.
You got no choice, mister. Why'd you do it, Adams?
Bradley was no good. All his life stepping on people. He didn't want to see anybody get ahead. This picture was mine. They told me it was. He was selfish. He took it away from me. It was my picture and he took it.
All right, come on down.
Why don't you shoot me? Go ahead. I'm not going with you. Why don't you shoot?
What for? You're not going anyplace.
I'm going to stay up here.
Suit yourself. We got a lot of time, Adams.
Why don't you just go away? Leave me alone.
You know better than that. You killed a man. Now, you either come down or we're going to come up.
What do you think, Joe? Well, give him a minute. He wants to be a director.
Yeah.
Let him figure out the ending.
On February 17th, trial was held in Department 89, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. The suspect was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of For the Love of Words. After a 3-year hiatus, join me, John Holgerson, and
Priscilla Almquist Olson,
as we interview poets and musicians. Could you give the audience a little summary of your background as a child?
When I turned 7 or so, we were car bombed. That stuck out.
And have them share their love of words.
Sometimes I wonder, do you ever think of me?
A thin broth of moonlight caught in the trees spreads across the garden brush, so one side of every stick shimmers while the other sides melt into one another, a mass grave of cherry, pear, and pine.
For the Love of Words at 7 p.m. on Thursdays.
Here we go. My name is Harrison Young, and after 13 years of talk show experience, I seek to bring you the best in interviews with some of the very best guests around, including, and here we are, experts.
I've seen thousands of demons actually come out of the mirror one time.
Wow. Musical guests and artists.
If I say how I feel, would you really listen?
And interesting characters of all types.
I threw that kid across the classroom. Look, he didn't try that ever again.
Wow. Join me at Topic Time on your Eastern cable station anytime they want to play it. And what I understand, that's quite a few times a day. I love it.
Don't have time to sit down and watch ECAT programs? Don't worry, ECAT has got you covered. That's right, ECAT has
podcasts!
Yes. ECAT Podcast Channel has your favorite shows that you could listen to. Whether you want to chill and listen to the Ron Van Dam Show and hear him talk about what's bothering him that day, or the show hosted by local legends Stephanie Weinstein and Meredith Keach, where they talk about anything and everything, or take a listen to the weekly news hosted by Jack Ryan and Abby Kitchenham. Stay tuned in with Tiger Talk hosted by Oliver Ames students. Community Forum is where their host Priscilla talks about all things Easton. Easton residents can also find government meetings about various topics. You can find the podcast on Podbean and all your favorite podcast platforms. Just by searching ECAT or the ECAT podcast, you can find it all. The ECAT podcast channel is powered by Podbean, so either in the car ride or walking around town, you can always catch what's going on with ECAT. Happy listening!
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
This is the city. One of the biggest in the United States. Spreads out in all four directions like a broadloom rug. To the south and west, it's the downtown business district. To the east, the industrial area. Los Angeles, California. It's pretty much like your town. This is a Spanish priest, one of the city's founders. It's changed a lot since then. It's got high-tension wires bringing in the power and bus lines to get you where you're going. It's got railroads and freight yards. Churches, any kind you want. Public parks and lakes. It's got a police department. And a city hall. This is where I work. I'm a cop. It was Thursday, July 17th. It was sultry in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ed Jacobs. The boss is Captain Didion. My name's Friday. It was 1:35 p.m. when we got back to the city hall. 9 months before, a jewelry salesman was slugged and robbed of $20,000 in precious stones. It took us weeks of investigation before we discovered the man responsible for the holdup. It took more weeks of legwork to gather all the evidence. We needed one more thing. His statement. Ed, you want to call the captain? He said he'd be in the corner pocket.
Yeah, right. I'd still like to know what this is all about, Sergeant, dragging me down here in the middle of the day.
Hold it a minute, Darby.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, Skipper. This is Jacobs. We just got back. Yeah. All of them? Good. Right. We're in your office. Yeah, thanks.
The others check in all right?
Yeah, just got back. Worked out fine.
Would you please explain what this is about? Why have you brought me down here?
We think you know why.
I don't. I haven't any idea. You take me away from my store on a busy day, you put a police guard on it, you insist on bringing me down here. What's it all about? Now tell me.
You tell us, Mr. Garvey.
Tell you about what?
The jewel robbery 9 months ago, the holdup.
What holdup? My store hasn't been robbed.
We're talking about your friend, Thomas Ashley.
Ashley? What about him?
We think you remember it 9 months ago, the parking lot back of the building down on 4th Street.
Oh, yes, surely. Some holdup man slugged him, stole his case of samples. I remember it now, yeah. Poor Tom. The thief made a big haul, didn't he?
Unset diamonds, $20,000 worth.
Yeah, I remember it now. I don't think Tom's gotten over it yet. I was a jewelry salesman for the same company at the time. You know, the same company Tom was working for, I mean.
Yeah, we know.
Some of the big bosses thought Tom had a hand in it. They figured it was a put-up job. Nothing was further from the truth.
That's so?
Of course, I know Tom. Close friend of mine. He wouldn't be mixed up in a deal like that. Tom and I worked out of the same office for years. We've had him over to the house for dinner. We've even been on vacations together. One of the most honest men I know.
You sure about that, are you?
Of course I'm sure. Say, that isn't why you called me down here, is it? You don't think Tom had anything to do with that robbery, do you? You don't think he was in on it?
He had nothing to do with it. think you know that as well as we do.
Then why am I here? There's nothing I can tell you about the holdup, only what I heard from Tom, what I read in the newspapers.
Now, you can tell us a lot more, Garvey. We didn't bring you down here just to pass the time of day.
Tom was slugged and his sample case of stones was taken. That's all I can tell you.
You're a liar, mister.
What?
You engineered the whole thing. We know it, and so do you.
Is this some kind of a joke? If it is, I think it's in bad taste.
It's a long way from a joke, Garvey. You planned the job, you got the loot. We can give you chapter and verse.
I really think you're serious. You think I robbed Tom?
We got it past the thinking stage, Garvey. We already told you we know you robbed him.
Now, wait a minute. This thing's ridiculous. The whole idea is ridiculous. I don't know who gave you the so-called information on me, but it's wrong. Nothing further from the truth.
Nobody gave us the information. We got it ourselves.
You're really serious, are you? I robbed Tom, and you can prove I did.
You're getting the idea.
I don't know what to say. It's fantastic. I robbed my best friend, Tom Ashley, 9 months ago. I have $20,000 worth of diamonds, and you can prove it.
Every bit of it. What about it?
I think you're out of your mind. My name is Ernest George Garvey. Are you sure I'm the man you want? There couldn't be a mistake?
There's no mistake.
This thing would be funny if I didn't think you were serious. Let me ask you just one question. Maybe that'll clear it up for you.
Yeah?
If I held up Tom Ashley, how is it he didn't recognize me?
You know better than that, Garvey.
What?
You didn't hold up Tom Ashley yourself. You had someone do it for you.
Oh, cloak and dagger, huh? I'm afraid this is getting a little too wild for me, Sergeant. Maybe you can waste your time making ridiculous charges. I can't. I'm going back to my store.
It's a weak bluff, mister. It's not going to do it.
Excuse me. Are you sure you two men haven't been drinking?
Sit down, Garvey.
I told you I'm going back to my store.
Sit down.
You have no right to keep me here. Ridiculous charges. Do you think I'm one of those cheap hoodlums you're used to dealing with?
Now, come off it, mister. You got a $5,000 car and a $40,000 home. That doesn't rate you special treatment. You're a thief. You know it as well as we do.
I don't have to take this from you.
You haven't got much choice, mister. We just finished 5 months legwork proving it.
Proving what?
Sit down. You engineered that holdup. We know who you got to do it. We know how it was carried out. We know how you planned on disposing of the diamonds. We know who your fence was. We know what the split was. We know what you did with part of the money. We know how much you got left.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
What can I say? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Any way you want it, Mr. Garvey.
Maybe you'd like to tell me why I did all this.
You know it better than we do.
No, I mean it. Tell me.
You weren't making enough money at your job to suit yourself, suit your wife either.
It's pretty good, Marilyn. Get a big kick out of that.
All right, mister. We can wait it out as long as you want. We spent 9 months on it already. Another few days aren't going to make that much difference.
Just as a matter of curiosity, how'd you first start off on this tangent? Whatever gave you an idea that I had anything to do with the holdup?
When you started to spend money, new car, new office for yourself, new fur coat for your wife, transferred your 2 children to that private school.
That makes a holdup man out of me because I wanted to send my kids to a better school?
Where'd the money come from? Can you explain that?
Don't you think that's my business, Sergeant? Where I get my money, what I do with it?
Not when you get it stealing.
I'm afraid you're going just a little too far. You insist I'm a thief, I'm going to insist you prove it.
All right, have a look over here, Mr. Garvey.
Yes?
Some of the reports in the investigation, reams of them. They cover everything from the time of the jewel robbery up to late yesterday. Now, it's all right there. Everything from the crime report to signed statements.
How could that concern me?
3/4 of the stuff concerns you. Have a look for yourself.
I still can't get it straight in my mind. What makes you think I had anything to do with that robbery?
Do you know what this is, Garvey, this machine here?
No, some kind of recording apparatus.
That's right, it's a tape recorder.
You've been taking down this conversation. Why?
No, not this one. We've been recording every conversation that took place in your office for the past 4 months, every word.
What do you mean?
Just that, Garvey. Every time you talked on the phone, every visitor you had, it's all down on tape, 25 reels of it.
Interesting. Is that supposed to frighten me?
We don't care if it frightens you or not. Something else.
Yes?
Reports on what you've been doing for the last 4 months. Daily reports, every movement you made.
Is that so?
Everywhere you went, everyone you talked to, everything you did. You like to hear a sample?
This must be some kind of a joke. That's the only explanation I can think of.
May 12th, Thursday. Sergeants Bitteroff and Rafferty. Those are the 2 officers that were tailing you at the time. You checked in at your new office at 9:38 a.m. At 10:03 a.m., you had a visitor, a Kenneth Tyson. You talked to him in your office. The conversation's recorded. Tyson left at 10:18 a.m. At 10:32 a.m., you left your office.
If you're trying to impress me, I'm afraid it isn't working out very well.
Care for a cigarette, Garvey?
No, thanks. I have my own.
All right.
I've wasted enough time. Exactly what's the point of all this?
It's pretty simple. You're responsible for a robbery. We can prove it. We're giving you a chance to make a statement.
It's nonsense.
Is it?
Of course. People following me, checking everything I do, where I spend my money, where I send my kids to school. What's it all about? It doesn't make sense.
Okay, Garvey, we've said it before. We can wait it out as long as you want.
Look, let's get this thing straight. Let's go back to the beginning and take it step by step.
Okay, fine.
The holdup was last fall, wasn't it? Sometime in October?
October 7th, Monday, 5:20 in the afternoon.
All right, now just what am I supposed to have done? None of your vague references about a new coat for my wife or where I send my kids to school. Let's have some facts.
Joe?
All right, Garvey. You went to work as a jewelry salesman for the company 10 years ago. Your friend Tom Ashley, the victim, started the same year. The 2 of you have been pretty close friends.
That's right. I told you that.
We'll skip the rest of your background for now. 2 weeks before the robbery on September 24th, you had a meeting with a Kenneth Tyson. You met him in a cafeteria on South Broadway. Tyson's 19 years old. He lives with an older sister. He works in a gas station on Olympic Boulevard. He's done some work in your car for you. That's how you happen to know him.
Yes, I think I remember the boy. I don't know him well, though. I don't recall the meeting either.
You know the boy very well. At the time of the meeting, you promised him $1,000 if he'd hold up your friend Tom Ashley.
Ridiculous.
Tyson agreed to it, and you briefed him on the plan. The following day, you gave him a gun, a .32 caliber Smith & Wesson, serial number 362744.
Nonsense. Where did you get that information?
Tyson.
He's lying. Believe me, if he told you that, he's lying. Is he the one who robbed Tom?
October 7th, at your direction, he was in the parking lot behind the Hunter Crosswell building. Tom Ashley came out to get in his car. He had a case of sample diamonds with him. Tyson held him up, slugged him, took the stones, and got away.
Of course, it's obvious. Tyson's trying to say I put him up to it. He's trying to get out of it that way.
I'm afraid not, Garvey. The boy couldn't have carried off the holdup by himself.
Of course he could. It's obvious he's trying to cover up.
There were 6 people in the company you worked for who knew that on Mondays, Ashley always took the case of sample diamonds along when he made his calls. Only on Mondays. You were one of the people who knew that.
I suppose you've considered the other 5 people?
They were all checked out at the time. They were all cleared, you along with them.
Well, I'm not clear anymore, is that it? This young hoodlum Tyson, you're willing to take his word over mine.
After the robbery, he took the case of diamonds to you. That was the next day. You paid him $500 and promised him the other $500 when you got rid of the stone.
Oh, I suppose I've gotten rid of them, or do I still have them? Which?
2 months after the holdup, you contacted a fence up in San Francisco. You drove up there and sold him some of the stones. He broke them up, and then he sold them. We know who he sold them to. We know what he got for them.
This fence, he's supposed to be another good friend of mine?
You're still doing business with him. His name's Fred Lawrence.
It's a new one on me. I don't know any Fred Lawrence. Can't even recall the name.
Maybe this will help you, Garvey. Listen to him on the tape recorder.
What's all this about?
Phone conversation, Garvey. One of the things we recorded from your office. Let's see, this one was on March 18th.
I always thought wiretapping was against the law, or do you pay any attention to that?
We didn't tap your telephone line. We recorded everything from dictagraphs we installed in your store and back in your office. They started recording the day you moved in. That was March the 1st, wasn't it?
I don't know why you're telling me. I can sue you for that, you know. I can sue you for your last dollar.
All we're concerned with right now is Fred Lawrence. You say you don't know him. I'd like to have you listen to this, recorded March 18th in your office. All right?
Yeah, Mary. Mr. Lawrence? Yeah, sure. Put him on. Hi, Fred. How are you? That's so. Good. No, everything's fine. No heat at all. No, Tyson's all right. Believe me, he's a good kid. Night? Yeah, all right. Where? Well, I don't know. It might not be so good if you're seen coming here. Oh, 8 o'clock, 8:30. Okay, fine. It's close to 8:30, so you can make it, huh? Right, Fred. Goodbye.
You recognize that, Garvey? Garvey?
I understand they can do clever things with tape recorders nowadays. There's a way of piecing words together, isn't there? They can record your voice and then fix the tape, take a simple sentence and change the words around to mean just the opposite.
You can examine the tape if you like. We didn't make a splice in it. All you'll find in it are the usual factory splices, just the way it came from the manufacturer.
What difference does it make anyway? Nothing criminal about that conversation, nothing at all.
You told us a few minutes ago you didn't know Fred Lawrence. You never heard of him. On that recording, sounds like you know him pretty well.
It's a fairly common name, wouldn't you say? Must be quite a few Fred Lawrences. I didn't happen to remember the name right off.
How about Tyson?
What?
Tyson. You told us you didn't know him well at all.
I don't.
Didn't sound that way on the tape. You were telling Lawrence he was all right. You said, believe me, he's a good kid. How about it, mister?
How about what? Is this some kind of a frame? What are you trying to make me say?
We're not going to make you say anything, Garvey. We work robbery detail. That's the job, robberies. They pay us to clean them up.
I can pay you.
What?
Never mind, I didn't mean that. I meant I pay my taxes, I pay your salaries, I help to anyway. I don't know why I have to be treated like this.
No reason to make a big headache out of this for everybody, Garvey. You engineered a holdup and we can prove it. We're giving you a chance to make a statement, that's all.
I got nothing to say. Make a statement about what? All you're going on is hearsay, circumstantial evidence. You can't say I planned that robbery.
You admit you know Tyson. You know him well.
I don't. I admit nothing.
What about the phone conversation?
It's a fake. They phony those things up all the time. You know it as well as I do.
You admitted you know Fred Lawrence. We proved that on the recording.
I admit nothing.
You don't even know Tyson. Is that what you want to say?
I know him, that's all. He worked on my car a couple of times. I don't know him well.
I'd like to play you another recording, Garvey.
Waste of time. I haven't got the whole day to spend here. I've got to get back to my store. I've got a business to operate.
Won't take very long. Here we are, April 5th.
A lot of foolishness anyway. How do I know how you made those recordings? You could have gotten actors, made them up yourselves. There weren't any dictagraphs. How did you make those things?
There were dictagraphs, Garvey. You remember before you moved in that new suite of offices, you had them redecorated?
Yes.
There were sound technicians from our crime lab out there working side by side with the painters, carpenters. Installed dictagraphs in your store, back in your offices. They bugged the entire place.
Wiretapping. I'll bring this into court if it's the last thing I do.
We already told you, Garvey, it's not wiretapping. We didn't touch your phone lines. We didn't have to.
Invasion of privacy. I'm going to bring this into court.
All right, let's hear this recording. It might clear up a few things, huh?
Clear up what? What are you trying to prove?
Okay, Joe.
Yeah, okay. Date on this is April 5th.
Come on in, sit down. Okay, thanks. Well, how have you been anyway?
Pretty good. I'm trying to get a hold of you the last week or so. Hard to do. You're not in very much.
Yeah, pretty busy, Ken. That time of year, you know. Keeps you going.
Well, I don't want to waste any time. I'd like to know how the deal's working out, though. Going back east to Albany next month. I'd like to get the rest of my money if I could.
Just like I told you the last time, Ken. I'm sending the stuff north. I hope you're here in a couple of days.
Yeah, I know. That's what you told me before, but it was a pretty heavy job. I could use the money. I mean, if it wasn't so heavy, I wouldn't mind, but, well, I got it coming, I think.
Of course you do, Ken. There's no question there. It's just that I haven't got it right now. Believe me, you'd have it in a minute if it was mine to give.
Yeah, but that was the agreement, wasn't it? 500 before the job, 500 after. Happened last October. That's it.
How about it, Garvey? What do you say?
Ridiculous, that's all. Obvious fake.
You can look at the tape if you like, inspect it. You can check every one of those 25 reels. We'll play them for you if you want.
Fakes, bad ones at that. Now, look, I'll give you both a chance. Either you book me in on a charge or else release me. You try booking me in and I'll sue you for false arrest. I'll break you. I'll sue you blind. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Release me and I'll get back to work. I'll forget all about it. Now, you name it. Which one? Book me in or release me?
That's fair enough. You're giving us a choice.
You bet it's fair. You could get in a lot of hot water. Now, it's up to you. Which one?
You ran a bad bluff, mister.
What?
We're booking you in. Thursday, 3:55 p.m. Ed Jacobs and I continued questioning the robbery suspect, Ernest Garvey. Despite the evidence at hand, he still refused to admit any knowledge of the $20,000 jewel theft 9 months before. The questioning went on. Garvey's answers became more and more confused. We kept pressing, laying out the case against him step by step. 4:30 p.m. We stayed at it.
But it must have taken quite a bit of money, didn't it, Garvey? Your wife's new fur coat, new car for yourself. Where'd it come from?
Now, look, there has to be an answer. Where'd that money come from?
Simple. I borrowed it.
Where'd you borrow it?
Some of it from friends, some from the banks. I don't see how it concerns you.
How much money did you borrow?
Don't you think that's my business?
Wasn't it about $7,000? Is that about right?
Yes. No, it was more. What's the difference? It's my business.
Complete financial file on you, Garvey. Took us quite a few weeks getting it together. A lot of work.
You must like snooping in other people's affairs.
No, not especially. It's pretty dull. Here's a copy of your bank statement from the California banks. Photostat. Doesn't make much sense here.
What do you mean?
Well, we checked your income for that month. Amounted to $620.18. Now, how was that possible?
For your information, I made a loan that month. That's probably some of the loan money I deposited. I'd quit my old job that time. I was going in business for myself. I needed the money to redecorate the new store, the office. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Photostat your loan papers right here. The loan was for $2,000.
Yes?
A month before, February, you'd borrowed from another bank. Let's see. That was for $3,000. Made another one in April, too. That was for $1,500, different bank again.
Yes, that's right. Do we have to go over this line by line?
In 3 months, you made bank loans for $6,500. Now, besides that, in the same 3 months, you earned a total of $1,713.88. Now, together, that makes $8,213.88.
What's the point?
Copies of your bank statements, Garvey. You have 5 different savings accounts in 5 different banks. How do you explain that?
Garvey, any explanation?
It's almost 5 o'clock. Can I use the phone? I have to call my wife, let her know.
All right. We'll have to listen in on the extension. The conversation will be monitored.
Go ahead, I don't care.
Okay. You dial 9 to get an outside line.
Oh, yeah. Busy.
Photostats there if you want to examine them, Garvey.
I see them.
Well, you want to give us an explanation? You only had $8,200. How could you bank $11,000? It had to come from somewhere.
Purely a personal matter, that's all. I borrowed $3,000 from a brother of mine, lives back in Minnesota.
You'd already made 3 loans. Why'd you have to borrow from your brother? You mind telling us?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do mind.
Well, it still doesn't balance the books, Garvey. You earned and borrowed $8,200. You got another $3,000 from your brother, you say. That's $11,200. You banked $11,000.
Yes, that's right. You always have to repeat.
That'd leave you with $200. Did you and your family live for 3 months on $200?
Why not? That could easily be. A lot of people do it.
Yes, sir, but not your family.
I'm getting sick and tired of this. You trying to tell me you know my family better than I do, what they eat, what they spend, what it takes to support them?
We've been on this thing for 9 months, Garvey. We've put in a lot of hours, and we know your family pretty well. If you like, I'll tell you the last time you ordered steak from the meat market, when you paid your gas bill, the last time your wife bought a pair of shoes.
I guess this is standard procedure for you, threatening people?
We're not threatening you, Garvey. We're giving you facts.
Another file here. Took us over a month to get this one together. Complete record of your expenses from February 1st. Covers February, March, April, May, and June.
I hope the police department has a good lawyer, Sergeant. You've got fair warning. I'm going to sue you for your last dollar.
Now, you say you and your family lived 3 months on $200. That doesn't jibe with what we've got. You can take a look here if you want to. It's all there.
Lies, forgeries, it's all lies. I promise you're going to regret this.
There's a photostat here of the receipt for your wife's coat, Garvey. $1,612.34. That includes the tax paid in full. Photostat of the contract for your new car. Down payment, $2,000. Liquor bill for the big party you threw in March 20th. Liquor bill, $387. There's a catering bill here, $194. Full year's check for tuition, room, and board for your kids at that private school you sent them to. $1,864.07. That's only the beginning, Garvey. It comes to a lot more than $200. Have you heard enough?
I better try to get my wife again. I have to let her know.
All right, Ed, you want to get the extension?
Yeah, right. You dial 9 to get outside, Garvey.
Yeah, I know. Still talking. She might know I'm trying to get her, stupid.
Now, wait a couple of minutes. You'll get through.
Gabbing on the phone all day long, gab on the phone and play cards. It's all she ever does.
I've got some more figures for you here, Garvey. Be a good idea if you hear them. Bills for 2 more parties you threw last month. Food bills, liquor bills.
Why do you have to keep pushing that stuff at me? So you've been sneaking around finding out about my personal affairs. That's supposed to be good police work, is it? This the kind of thing they pay you for?
Now, look, you carried off a robbery, Garvey. We're giving you a chance to make a statement.
Why should I? What for? Give you a statement and have you twist it around, incriminate me? I haven't had anything to do with this kid, Tyson. Better make that call.
Dial 9 first.
I know. You told me.
What's wrong, Garvey?
What's the matter with her, stupid? She ought to know I'm trying to get her, stupid.
Dial 9.
I know.
One more recording you ought to hear. Just played part of it for you.
I don't want to hear it.
I'll play just a piece of it. Think you ought to hear it.
That the one from May 10th, is that it?
Yeah, uh-huh. Tyson and Garvey. Same place. The office.
But you told me on the phone.
Said you'd have the dough for me today. Now, wait a minute, Tyson. I didn't say that at all. I said maybe I'd have it for you. I didn't say definitely. Look, I can't give you what I haven't got.
I want the 500, Garvey. I need it. I stuck my neck out on a robbery job. I'd give 5 to life if the cops got me. You'd be clear.
Now, take it easy, will you, Ken?
Take it easy, nothing.
Well, it couldn't be any plainer. What do you say?
In a minute, just a minute. She was never satisfied. She never could be satisfied. Always more. She always had to have something else.
How do you mean, your wife?
Playing cards and gabbing on the phone, that's all. She kept writing me day in and day out. I wasn't making enough money. She didn't have any clothes. The kids ought to go to a better school. We ought to have a new house. On and on and on. I ought to go in business for myself, make money, lots of money, same thing all the time. Talk, talk, talk. There's only so much you can take.
You figured the robbery had solved the problem, is that it?
I guess so. I'd have tried anything just to shut her up, get her off my back for a while. I guess you got Tyson, huh? The other man, too, Fred Lawrence.
They were picked up this afternoon. Lawrence at the airport, Tyson in a show downtown, all 3 of you.
What about your wife, Garvey? She know you planned the robbery?
I didn't tell her. I think she knows, though. Pretty sure she does. Maybe she'll be satisfied now. Lousy money. She had to have it. Didn't even leave me enough to pay off that kid Tyson. Private school for the children. Wall-to-wall carpets in the house. New dishwasher, new coat, new car, everything. She just had to have them. You want to take me, book me in? I don't care.
All right. We'll stop off down the hall and take your statement.
Sure. I don't care.
All right, let's go.
Oh, say, just a minute, huh?
Yeah?
It'll only take a minute. figured.
On November 4th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial. The suspect was tried and convicted of robbery in the first degree, which is punishable by imprisonment from 5 years to life.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
The fourth largest city in the United States. It's still growing. Every year we get more of everything. Population, transportation, stores, crime, buildings, and more crime. More than 50,000 major crimes were committed last year alone. That means 50,000 criminals. They range from professional killers to petty thieves. A lot of them are experts. Every year they seem to get better at their jobs. And the better they get, the harder I work. I'm a cop. It was Tuesday, April 28th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Safe Detail, Burglary Division. My partner's Ed Jacobs. The boss is Captain Wisdom. My name's Friday. It was 2:16 p.m. when we got back to the Hall of Justice, Superior Court, Department 38. On January 4th, the safe in the Grant Herald building was burglarized. It took us weeks before we narrowed down the suspects to one man. He was an ex-con, a two-time loser. It took more weeks of interrogation, gathering evidence, long hours in the crime lab to build our case against him. It was a big job, a hard one. He was guilty. We were convinced of it. We had one step to go. There was the jury. We had to convince them. How's it going, Lee?
I think we got him, Joe.
Did you testify yet?
This morning.
How'd it work out?
Physical evidence tied in perfectly, all 6 points.
Jury impressed?
Hard to tell. Buckley's got a smart lawyer. I was talking to the assistant DA. The case ought to go to the jury late today.
What's coming up next, now?
I'm due back on the stand when this recess is over.
There's the bailiff.
The Superior Court is again now in session. Remain seated. No smoking, please.
Let the record show that the jury, the defendant, and his counsel are present. Prosecution may proceed.
If it please, Your Honor, I'd like to recall Leland Jones to the stand.
Leland Jones, take the stand. Be seated.
If I may, Your Honor, for the benefit of the record, state that Leland V. Jones has been duly sworn, that counsel for the defense has stipulated that he's a forensic chemist attached to the Scientific Investigation Division of the Los Angeles Police Department, and that he's qualified to testify as an expert in the case.
Proceed.
Mr. Jones, earlier today in this court, you heard the testimony to the effect that Conrad Buckley had identified these exhibits as his own. This wool jacket, this pair of trousers, and these shoes, did you not?
I did.
This morning, Mr. Jones, you pointed out these pertinent facts about these articles of clothing. First, People's Exhibit 1, the red paint smudges on the soles of the shoes. They match the paint on the ventilation pipe, which leads to the third floor of the Grant Herald building. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You further stated that the footprints left at the scene of the crime were made by a size 8 shoe with Cuban heels and metal taps on each toe. Is that correct?
That's right.
People's Exhibit 1. A pair of black shoes identified by the defendant as his own. They're stamped size 8, Cuban heels, metal taps on each toe. Mr. Jones, you're acquainted with the fact that on the night of January 4th, someone scaled the ventilator pipe to the third floor of the Grant Herald building, forcibly entered the attic of the building, gained access to an adjoining suite of offices, and there burglarized a safe.
I'm acquainted with that fact.
Is it possible that someone else other than the defendant could have burglarized that safe?
In my opinion, no.
On what do you base your conclusion?
I base it on the application of the law of probabilities to such a case as this.
Would you explain that to the jury, please?
First, let's apply a set of figures to these facts. Let's say, conservatively, that 1 man in every 100 in this city wears a size 8 shoe with Cuban heels and metal taps on the shoes. And then, let's say that 1 man in every 100 has red paint smudges on the soles of the shoes. Same color and same texture as the paint from the building. Further, let's estimate that 1 man in 100 also wears 10 ribs to the inch woven trousers and a wool jacket woven 12 ribs to the inch. Let's also estimate that 1 man in 100 carries a small piece of charred lath in his jacket. Then let's say that 1 man in 100 carries in the cuffs of his trousers particles of plaster similar to the plaster in the attic of the Grant Herald building.
What are the chances, then, that 1 man in this city, other than the defendant, could possess all 6 of these various items?
That would be 1 chance in 1 trillion.
Well, how do you arrive at that figure, Mr. Jones?
Well, simply by multiplying 100 by itself 6 times over.
You mean only 1 man in 1 trillion, other than the defendant, could have burglarized the safe on the 3rd floor of the Grant Herald building?
That's correct.
1 trillion. Can you give the jury something to compare that figure with?
That's more people than have lived on Earth since the beginning of time.
Lee Jones was the last witness to testify in the case of the state versus Conrad Buckley. For the rest of the afternoon, the defense lawyer and the assistant DA delivered their summations. The defense lawyer was eloquent and colorful. He spoke for more than an hour and threw up every possible smokescreen he could think of to disguise the facts of the case. The assistant DA reviewed again the 6 points of physical evidence, clearly defined. At 5 minutes to 5 that afternoon, the case went to the jury. We were expecting a quick verdict. We didn't get it. The jury was locked up for the night, and we went home.
The Superior Court, State of California, and for the County of Los Angeles is now in session. The Honorable John Edwards, judge presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
Yes, Your Honor, we have.
Hand me the verdict. Read the verdict.
The Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles people versus Conrad Buckley. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant not guilty.
No talking back there, please.
So say ye one, so say ye all. Is this your verdict?
It is.
Record the verdict. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I've been a judge for 26 years. For the past 14 years, I've presided in this particular court. May I say now that this is the worst miscarriage of justice I have ever witnessed. After hearing your verdict in this case, I can arrive at only one conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, either you are innately dishonest or you're complete morons. Court's adjourned.
As soon as possible, the district attorney's office began exploring the personal life and background of each one of the 12 jurors. They contacted their neighbors, their friends, their acquaintances. They checked back 10 years in the lives of every one of them. They found nothing.
The jury was indifferent. They wouldn't follow the case.
Well, all the facts were there, Lee. None of the jurors were fixed. The DA's office found out that much.
Why wouldn't they follow the case?
A lot of people think they're doing their city a big favor when they serve on a jury.
Yeah.
They figure all they have to do is sit in the jury box for a few days, mark a ballot as fast as they can, and then leave.
Beats me. They pay the taxes.
They pay for these trials. They can follow the technical case closely if they want to. A lot of them aren't that conscientious. They don't think it means money in their pockets, so they don't care.
We went through hell on this thing. 4 months to catch him, 3 months to prove him guilty.
And the jury blew it.
You want my opinion, Lee? I think it stinks.
You don't have an opinion, Joe. You're a cop.
The case of Conrad Buckley became just another item filed away with hundreds of thousands of others in the record bureau of the Los Angeles Police Department. 6 days after he was acquitted, he left the city and a few weeks later was reported in Baltimore, Maryland. After that, he dropped from sight. Summer came, autumn, Christmas, New Year's. On Wednesday morning, Ed and I checked in for work as usual. What's the date, Ed?
Wednesday, February 1st.
Thank you.
Your mother get over that cold, Joe?
Yeah, finally. How about your kid?
Yeah, he's okay. Wife's got one now. Hi. Morning, Captain.
Hi.
Got a minute?
Yeah.
Carter Printing Company was robbed last night.
How much?
There's the crime report.
14,500.
Yeah, it's a big haul.
EMO's familiar. Climbed a drain pipe to the roof, kicked in a skylight.
Yeah?
Conrad Buckley's back in town. I think it might add up.
Could be. Sounds like it.
There's one sure way to make him. Put him in small words and big type.
I don't know how to make it any more positive than the last time.
I don't know if that Greek with the lamp ever found an honest man, but get the guy.
Ed and I drove out to the Carter Printing Company and spent the rest of the morning and most of that afternoon checking into the $14,000 safe burglary. We examined the office where the burglary took place and the smashed skylight where the thief entered. We traced his path from the time he got into the building to the time he left. No fingerprints, no leads.
How many safe men you know that work like Buckley?
Well, let's see. There's Hagan. He works about the same, but he's up at Q.
Walters, he operates like Buckley. He's doing time, too.
Anybody else?
No, not that I can think of.
All right, find Buckley. Find out where he lives, who his friends are, where he eats. Find out what he's doing.
You want us to tail him?
Give him plenty of room. When you get the dope on him, we'll have a squad of men tail him alternately.
All right. Where do we start?
The Manchus Bar down on Central Avenue near 5th.
When was he there last?
Monday, first night he got in town. Might be his favorite spot.
Okay. Anything else?
I hear Buckley's learned a new trick since he's been away.
Yeah?
Carries a gun.
That night, Ed and I started down into the south end of the city to find Conrad Buckley. First stop was Comanche's Bar. Buckley didn't show. The next night was the same. And the night after that, no sign. On the fourth night, at 10 minutes past 8 p.m., Saturday, February 4th, Ed spotted Buckley entering. We waited. At 25 minutes past midnight, Buckley came out the main entrance with a blonde woman on his arm. He walked unsteadily. The two of them got into a gray car and sat there talking.
What's the license number, Joe?
9 Robert 702.
Want to get a make?
Yeah. Control 1, request a rolling make in the 3 column. 9 Robert 702. 9 Robert 702.
Roger, 80K. Stand by. KMA 367.
It's a nice-looking car.
Yeah, if it's his.
Might pan out if we're lucky.
Control 1 to 80K. Come in.
80K to Control 1. Go ahead.
9 Robert 702. Car registered to Mrs. Conrad Buckley, 939 South Norwich Road, Beverly Hills.
80K to Control 1. Roger. KMA 367.
What does that prove?
proves he's supporting a new car and a wife. Let's find out how. .22 a.m. We trailed Buckley and the blonde woman we figured to be his wife to 939 South Norwich Road in Beverly Hills. We waited. At 3 a.m., Ed called Captain Wisdom and a couple of men were sent out to relieve us. By Friday of that week, February 10th, we had his movements fairly well established. We turned all the information we had over to Captain Wisdom, and he assigned a crew of 8 men to tail the suspect constantly in alternate shifts. The trap was set. 6 p.m. Tuesday, February 14th. I'll get it. Friday talking. Yeah, Captain, what's up? Uh-huh. Yeah, right. Buckley, he's making a move. We left the city hall and drove out to the site of the stakeout near Buckley's home on South Norwich Road. Captain Wisdom was there waiting for us.
He left his place alone. He was on foot. Berg and Marconi tailed him to a bar. That's where he lost him.
And he hasn't come back to his place?
Not yet. I got a hunch he will. His car's still there.
Yeah?
We can shake him down. If he's been out on a caper tonight, he should have whatever he stole with him.
Car there in the driveway?
Yeah, check the license.
9 Robert 702, that's Buckley's car.
There's somebody coming out of the house.
That his wife?
Looks like it.
Does she know either one of you?
No.
Follow her.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
This okay? Can you see the door from here?
Yeah, this is fine.
Captain?
It's her move. Let's sweat it out.
The blonde woman entered the apartment house at 1261 Wilcox Avenue at 14 minutes past 11 p.m. At 5 minutes past midnight, she came out and got in her car. A man was with her.
Buckley. Must be the hideout.
You two follow them. When they get to the house, shake them down.
What about you?
I'll check the apartment. Meet you back at the office.
Right. At 21 minutes past midnight, Ed and I pulled up at the Buckley home at 939 South Norwich Road. We waited until Buckley and his wife got in the house. Then we went in and shook them down. We found nothing. We searched the house, the garage, and the car. The same. Nothing. Yeah, all right. You can put your stuff away.
Place is clean, Joe. Nothing.
Right.
And I tell you, I'm clean. You haven't got one thing on me. I'm clean.
It's a nice car you're driving, Buckley. Is it yours?
That's right. I like nice things.
They cost money.
What doesn't?
When'd you get back in town?
Last week. Why?
What are you doing with your time?
Morris Cabinet Company. I'm a journeyman carpenter.
When do you work?
Nights. Good job. Believe me, I'm legit.
All right, you stay that way and we won't have any trouble. Ed and I left Buckley's house, drove back to the office, and checked in with Captain Wisdom. He told us that he had talked with the manager of the apartment house at 1261 Wilcox Avenue. Buckley was renting apartment 7A in the building under the name of James E. Wilson. On the average, he used the apartment only once or twice each week. The rent was $75 a month.
What'd you find in the apartment, Captain?
He keeps 2 complete changes of clothes in the closet. The rest of the place is empty except for one thing, a set of burglary tools.
Yeah?
Found them under a false bottom drawer. A set of safe jimmies, small sledge, the works.
Then he works out of the apartment, huh?
He's getting cagey, or he thinks he is. After a job, he probably comes back to the apartment, gets rid of his work clothes, and figures he's pretty safe.
Well, and all we have to do is keep an eye on that apartment. The next time he pulls a job, we grab him.
That's right. The next time we pick him up, it's going to be for keeps.
That depends on the jury, doesn't it?
At 3 a.m. that morning, Wisdom ordered a stakeout at 1261 Wilcox Avenue. The stakeout on his home also continued. During the next week, the suspect was seen to come and go from his home, and on 2 occasions he visited his apartment during the daylight hours. No suspicious moves on his part were reported. The stakeout went on. 5 weeks later, on March 22nd, the safe in the offices of Butterfield and Crucian Wholesale Grocers was burglarized of $7,500. That afternoon, Wisdom, Ed, and I met with Lieutenant Lee Jones in the crime lab.
It's cyclohexane, a coal tar product.
Well?
It's colorless and it's odorless. When it's rubbed into the surface of an object, it's invisible to the naked eye.
Well, what about it, Lee?
It's a crystalline hydrocarbon, slightly soluble in ether or alcohol.
Uh-huh.
Well, here, let me show you this cloth.
Can I help you, Lee?
Yeah, will you, Joe? There. Dust it on here. Now, can you see or feel anything at all?
No. Seems to disappear. You can't feel anything. You can.
Oh.
Ed?
No.
No, there's nothing on there.
Captain, you want to catch that light, please?
Sure.
Have a look.
How about that? Seems to glow.
Yeah. Will this stuff rub off, Lee?
Try it. Now look at your hands.
Nothing harmful in that stuff?
No.
How long will this stuff stay on, Lee?
Maybe as long as 24 hours.
Only shows up under that ultraviolet lamp, huh?
That's right.
Well, does it work on everybody?
It'll work on Buckley.
10 minutes later, Wisdom put in a call to the 2 men on stakeout at Buckley's apartment on Wilcox Avenue. They reported that the apartment was empty. Buckley hadn't been near it since early the day before. At 6 p.m. that night, Lee Jones, Ed, and I went to the apartment, let ourselves in with a pass key, and went to work with 2 jars of cyclohexane. We dusted it on everything in sight, on Buckley's clothes, his shoes, his hat, and on the set of burglary tools which we found in the false bottom drawer. We rubbed it in until it was invisible. We arranged everything exactly the way we found it, and then we went back to the office. Lee Jones had a portable ultraviolet light set up for immediate use. Wisdom alerted communications to pass along immediately all reports of burglaries throughout the city. We waited. At midnight, we went out in shifts for sandwiches and coffee. The watch kept on. 2:30 a.m.
I got it. Wisdom. Yeah? Thanks. Harvard and Wilshire Boulevard.
Safe job?
2 of them. Call Lee Jones. I'll meet you downstairs.
Right. What do you think?
We'll let the lamp tell us. Bergstrom, keep the storefront clear. 10 feet on either side. Anything, Lee?
You'll know in a minute. Okay, Bob. All right, we can try it.
I'll get the light, Lee.
Okay.
That's it.
It's all there. The Greek with the lamp had an idea, didn't he?
Before we left for Conrad Buckley's house, Lee Jones directed the photographer to stay at the scene of the burglary and take photographs of the telltale cyclohexane prints and all other pertinent photographs for use in court. At 8 minutes past 4 a.m., we walked into Buckley's living room.
Now, look, this is kind of getting on my nerves. It's 4 in the morning.
Ed, outlet's right down there.
Right.
What is all that stuff? What's that you got?
Okay. Right, Lee. Okay, Joe, the light.
this all about, anyway?
Look at yourself.
What are you doing to me? What is all this stuff?
Like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I don't have to take this stuff. You haven't got anything on me. You had me in court once before, and you had to turn me loose.
Yes, we had you in court, and I can tell you every move you made in that case.
Yeah?
You tell me if I'm wrong. You climbed the back of the Grand Herald building using some pipes as supports. You crawled across the roof on your hands and knees to the firewall. You raised up a couple of times to see if everything was clear. You went over the firewall, leaving impressions of your coat and trousers. One of the coat buttons was scratched, so you went over stomach down. You then went to the front of the building, walking in a crouched position to see if there were any police cars in the vicinity. Then you returned to the skylight. How am I doing?
Keep talking.
You removed the glass from the skylight, crawled through the entrance, kicked a hole through a plaster wall into the attic. You broke some of the charred lath so that you could crawl through the attic to an opening in the office of the Grand Herald building. Then you opened the safe and took out $1,250. Is that right?
No, I took $1,350.
Okay. You give me a couple of hours and I'll tell you what you did on this case.
Here's your coat.
Yeah. What about my clothes? They're all ruined.
By the time you need them again, they'll be out of style. All right, come on, let's go.
On October 15th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 84, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial. The suspect was tried and convicted of first-degree burglary. Due to his previous convictions, he was sentenced to life imprisonment.
This series lasted 9 seasons and had 276 episodes, all directed by Jack Webb. In the 60s, Jack Webb did try to come back and bring back Dragnet, but it didn't pan out as well as it did. Only this series, season 2, 3, and 4, will receive top ratings in the top 5 in the country. Later, Dragnet was not only portrayed in another TV series, but also a few movies, and ended up being one of the well-known cop characters. I hope you enjoyed your time watching Dragnet on Old Time TV. Join us next time for the next show. And make sure you catch the radio casts of Dragnet